How does epigenetics impact breathing and COPD? Imagine your genes as a set of instructions for your body. Now picture epigenetics as the switches and dimmers that turn those instructions on or off without changing the actual code. In chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, these switches play a big role in how well your lungs work. Epigenetic changes can influence how genes related to lung health are expressed, which affects breathing. For example, DNA methylation is a common epigenetic mechanism. When methyl groups attach to specific parts of the DNA in lung cells, they can turn off or reduce the activity of genes that keep your airways healthy. One such gene is called CDH1, which makes a protein called E-cadherin. E-cadherin helps keep the lining of your airways intact. If DNA methylation increases at the CDH1 gene, less E-cadherin is produced. This weakens the airway lining, leading to airspace enlargement and airway hyperactivity, making it harder to breathe. The small airways in your lungs are especially affected. In COPD, macrophages, which are immune cells in the lungs, undergo epigenetic changes that change how they respond to inflammation. These changes make inflammation worse and cause the airways to narrow over time. Histone modifications are another epigenetic factor. These are changes to proteins called histones that help organize DNA. When histone acetylation or methylation patterns become abnormal, they can turn on or off genes involved in inflammation. This results in more inflammatory molecules being produced, damaging lung tissue and reducing airflow. The muscles involved in breathing, especially the diaphragm, are also impacted. In COPD, microRNAs that help regulate muscle function are often downregulated, while enzymes like histone deacetylases increase. These changes are the body's way of adapting to the extra effort needed to breathe but can lead to muscle weakness and fatigue. Environmental factors like cigarette smoking are major triggers for epigenetic changes. Smoking activates enzymes that modify DNA and histones, causing widespread epigenetic alterations. These changes can persist even after quitting and promote inflammation and airway narrowing. A gene called UDGUG6 or GPR126 is also affected by epigenetic modifications. Changes in its methylation pattern are linked to COPD development and decreased lung function, especially in oxygen transfer. When we look at COPD from an epigenetic perspective, it becomes clear that both inherited genetic factors and environmental exposures work together. Some people are born with genetic variations that make them more prone to COPD, but environmental triggers like smoking can activate epigenetic changes that push the disease forward. This means that even if someone has a genetic risk, avoiding harmful exposures can help prevent or slow down COPD. Understanding these epigenetic mechanisms opens up new possibilities for treatment. Researchers are exploring drugs that can reverse abnormal DNA methylation or histone modifications. These therapies aim to restore normal gene activity in lung cells, reduce inflammation, and improve breathing. So, in essence, epigenetics acts as a bridge between your genes and your environment, shaping how COPD develops and progresses. By targeting these epigenetic changes, scientists hope to find better ways to treat or even prevent this challenging disease.